Yeah, she was born in Stamford, Connecticut.
Why isn't Connecticut coming up on my? Come on, you mother. God
See,
damn it.
she being difficult. She like, don't pull my information.
Already, right?
Or is
Oh
it in
shit!
Florida?
My goddamn app crashed.
It
Oh my
did.
God.
Yes.
Damn, Candace, like, y'all not looking at my chart.
Yeah.
And then all those sex tapes this week too, y'all.
Yeah. Did you see Blueface and
Blueface and
Girl.
Krishan? I seen what's her name?
Wait a minute. They have a tape.
Ice
Personally
Spice.
victimized by that
Ice
shit.
Spice.
Like, leave us alone, Krishan. Just stop.
Wait a minute. They have
Leave
a
us
sex
alone.
tape?
Yes.
Yeah.
Urka got me on Twitter now. Lord have mercy, Lord Jesus.
Yep,
Touching my
Krishan
pearls.
leaked the sex tape.
Entertainment for days.
Why? She leaked it herself?
Yeah, she put it
Yeah,
on
she
her
posted it
stories.
and then she deleted it. Like, there aren't millions
they
of
already
screen
got it.
recordings of that shit.
What was her motivation? What did she say? Why'd she do it?
This was right after.
Oh, they broke up, right?
Yeah, even though she says they weren't together, even though I literally posted footage in the stuff that we talked about with her where she said he
literally
asked
said
her
in
to be his
August.
girlfriend in August.
Yes.
It was like August 10th. I even remember the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got documentation. They was
He
together.
spent the night with his baby mom for her birthday and woke up in her bed, and the baby mom posted that, and that's
and the
wow.
girl, the groupie,
Oh,
as well.
And the groupie came out, yes.
Was
I
in
got
the
that.
bed with him and posted that video too. So she posted one of her own to join the crew. Like, we're all sleeping with him, boo.
Oh.
How embarrassing.
Oh my God. And there is one extreme, got her on top of him. Did you see that one?
I saw
yeah, that's the one.
Wait, there's more than that? That's the one that I saw.
Oh, yeah, there was some
there's
others
a few.
where, there's a few different clips of it and stuff that are now on the internet forever. Just further and further down the rabbit hole we go.
I don't think I want
Wow.
Thank God I was born in the 80s. All
Yeah,
my
nobody
bullshit.
has any.
Man.
If you got a VHS player, maybe. But
They gonna convert it to DVD, Marie.
right, you gotta do some
Like, back in the day,
conversions.
you actually had to have the equipment to make a tape, though. Like, right? You had to have the tripod, the actual camcorder. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
You ain't catching us 80 babies all over the place unless I do something recent. I hope to God I ain't got nothing recent. But the way these people be hacking and shit, I had to stop sending them through email a few years.
Marie said a lot.
You know, sexting
It's
and stuff
an app.
was fun. It was fun when it came out. It was enticing and it was something to do until people weaponized it like they do with everything else. So now we can't do that no more. You know
The
what
revenge
I mean?
porn. I think that's what they did to Ice Spice too. I don't think she released that, if that's even her, because
There's
people
one
are
why
like,
is everybody
Ice Spice?
releasing
Yes, it
these,
came-
I almost said mixtapes. These
It's
sex
on
tapes that
Twitter.
nobody asked for.
I think people deliberately and intentionally sometimes put out these sex tapes because,
Because of Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
She
is
got
that the
rich and
blueprint?
famous, and the blueprint, her and Paris Hilton, they were the blueprints of monetizing sex tapes. And
But you gotta think about it. Like, that was back then when it wasn't a whole lot of that out there like that.
Right,
Like,
Twitter is free
I
porn
don't know.
now.
Like, it's almost 20 years later.
exactly.
It just don't hit the same. Everybody got an OnlyFans. Everybody got
Yeah.
a sex tape. Like, we didn't need to see that.
South Node is Scorpio.
Yes.
It don't work no more. Like you said, it don't work.
It literally
no more. You
don't
gotta
work
do
no
something
more.
else.
Ty, you had said that too when we talked about the nose. You were like,
Yo, when I tell you, like, all the transits that people talk about, Mercury retrograde, like, everybody, even people who does not astrologists talk about Mercury retrograde, right? Like, everybody talking about Mercury retrograde. Little few here and there, some posts about Pluto. Nobody, like, the South Node of Scorpio, though, in my opinion, is whipping people's ass. Like, I think the South Node of Scorpio is literally tearing a new one and people like, and they just not getting it. They think, oh, Mercury retrograde is coming. Like, no, that's the South Node of Scorpio whipping your ass, bitch. That's not Mercury retrograde.
You got
Shit,
18
Mercury
months of that.
retrograde in Libra.
Mercury.
That wasn't even that. Mercury retrograde in Libra, like Libra, it wasn't really that intense. Mercury retrograde in Virgo, because Mercury rules Virgo. Yeah, it was, you know, it was a lot of facts that came out. But no, like, it wasn't that ruthless like that. But that South Node in Scorpio, yeah, like every bit of like all the control issues people have, their uncontrollable desires, addictions, their fears of being broke, their fears of being alone, whatever, like depression, because people have fears of just whatever the frequency of fear. That shit is really coming for people because that shit is squared by Saturn and opposed by Uranus. So that's what I think. When I look around and I'm like, yo.
People mismanaging wealth too, Ty. Like, what is his name? I always say his name. Brett Favre stole all that money. Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Girl, $1 million is like from like a welfare fund or something. Like, seriously. Like,
yep.
He's being investigated right now.
Say what?
Wow.
Yes.
Look what happened to Black Lives Matter. Same situation.
Yes. All this stuff coming up. All this wealth. Okay.
And our favorite man, Ye.
Yeah.
The hell with him.
White Lives Matter shirt.
Yes, Lord.
We seen a lot this week. It's so much.
Yeah, it has been a lot happening this week. This grand air train is doing the fucking number, okay?
Did you see his Instagram? Like, I can't keep up. It's like one of those things where I don't know what he's talking about at this point.
First of all, why would you even wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt with Mars on your sun? Even if you had good intentions, like there's a message behind. Like I've seen people in the spiritual community on Instagram and in the if there is a spiritual community, they explain in the legal dictionary, white has a different meaning than black. Black means has no rights or whatever. The sovereignty issue. But even if you have a secret meaning behind that, Mars is on your sun. People were gonna come for you. Crazy. Like, you have the moon in Pisces. What are you, like, Mars is quite like, what are you doing?
It's like he doesn't have an astrologer.
You got everything else.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, and everything else. I don't know.
But then again, do you think Kanye would really listen to the advice of others? Like, after like everything is said and done, he got Sun conjunct Jupiter. Don't like at the end of the day, he gonna do what he want to do anyway. So
that's a fact. And look, Sway was a Cancer, and Cancer is the money house for Gemini. And that's what Sway was telling them. And that, why don't you do it yourself, Kanye?
We got to both sign that contract, Mark Parker. And by the way, Mark Parker, yes, I will still accept an investment in Donda. But if you guys are investing in the arts, y'all want to invest in this school in Brazil, y'all want to go to Africa, I'm standing up and I'm telling you, I am Warhol. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. Now, who's going to be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. You don't have the answers.
I'm asking you for the answer. It's a question. Why is it that you can't? You have money.
I just told you I lost the money because I did not have the knowledge of how to do it the right way.
So you don't have the money to do it. That's your answer.
Now, somebody who puts the sun in your second house is giving you good advice. So what happened? What happened recently with this Mercury retrograde? And Mercury rules Gemini. He said, I have to admit, Sway has the answers. Of course, he put the sun in your second house of money.
So Sway, almost 10 years ago, said, man, why don't you do it on your own? Was he right?
You know what? I will go ahead and say Sway had the answer.
Dummy, get an astrologer. Get an astrologer.
I don't really think he listens.
Did you see what he said that his father, who is a former Black Panther, approved of his White Lives Matter shirt?
He posted the text between them. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Mm-hmm. And he said that he thought it was funny. And then his dad said that it was a Black man declaring the obvious. So what? This was an inside joke? Is this what we're?
Candace wore hers. Candace wore hers too.
Yep. You know what's interesting? She has a podcast now that's on YouTube, and I just watched where she was discussing that and held up the shirt. You can buy it anywhere online. Besides her annoying me for a lot of other issues, she just attacked Cardi's lyrics to the song Tomorrow 2 that she did with Glorilla.
I don't speak dog ho, woof.
But like, you're chummy with Kanye. You don't have any problem with his lyrics when you talk about how damaging rap music is to Black culture and stuff. Like, I don't like that. Like, either... Right. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You attack women, but not the men. You chummy with him. I don't get it. It don't make any sense to me. She gets on my nerves.
I don't want to talk about... okay, I'm going to keep my mouth closed about Candace. Because, the thing about... have we ever looked at Candace's chart? I'll just leave it at that.
I was just going to look that John up.
That's what I was doing now. Was looking at shit. Oh. Her birthday is April 29th. 1989. Ha! She's a fucking Taurus. What did I say? And you could pretty much bet that it's something. This is fucking Taurus right now.
Marie, can you share that? I thought my iPad was in here, but I think my daughter took it out in my room. So
what? Her birthday?
Did you pull up her chart? Like,
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. I keep forgetting I have solar fire on my computer. What the hell, Janét?
I think I gotta know what's going on. I'm assuming she's the Pluto in Scorpio generation. I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's my generation, 89.
Okay, so she has a Sun Pluto opposition. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was kind of picking up from her. Like,
okay, I have her chart, but let me change this.
No problem.
Where does she?
Yeah, she was born in Stamford, Connecticut.
Why isn't Connecticut coming up on my... Come on, you mother... CT.
See, she being difficult. She like, don't pull my...
Already, right?
Why do I get a lot of Virgo vibes from her, though, for some reason, because...
Oh, that's because she has Jupiter and Mercury in Gemini. There's a lot of Mercury.
That's why her and Kanye get along.
Yeah, her Jupiter conjuncts his sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they get along.
This bitch.
Shit. My goddamn app crashed.
It did?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Damn, Candace, like, y'all not looking at my chart.
Like, no, come on, please.
You said, wait, April
29th, 1989.
Okay.
Stamford, fucking Connecticut. Come on, really quickly, so I can get this up so that Ty can contemplate this shit for the evening.
Yes.
you know, like, I need something to think about.
I need to know what's in this chart. I need to know why Black people collectively hate her. I mean, I know why but I want to know astrologically what's going on, why they hate her.
I was gonna say I could tell you why.
Okay.
You said what year is it?
1989.
The first thing is that it don't want to put Connecticut in this shit.
She a Venus and Taurus.
I didn't. Yo.
Conjunct the sun.
Okay.
That explains the attraction.
Is it sharing it now?
Okay, here it comes. Yep, it popped up. There we go.
Okay. Can we see it? Can y'all see it?
Venus conjunct the sun.
Damn it.
Can you make it bigger? Or
that's what I was trying to do.
I think that's just my screen.
Venus conjunct the sun makes a lot of sense.
I have always kind of felt like she was a little bit of an opportunist, given the fact that you started out, the first time I ever heard of you, you were creating a website to dox people and you were on the left. Now, I'm not saying that people can't change their minds and change political sides and stuff like that, but I kind of got opportunist vibes from her. She got attacked like hell for that. And now you or the polar opposites?
I'm gonna put Aries at the
Damn, why are
ascendant.
you
I don't
such a
know.
white apologist? Can we point that out, please? Is that a thing? Is that a term?
It is.
That's why I need to see what's going on. What is that? That's Neptune in Capricorn.
Neptune,
No.
Uranus, and Saturn in Capricorn.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. Sun, Saturn trine. Yeah, here's the thing about her. Even if you don't like what she's talking about, you'd be hard pressed to prove that what she's saying wasn't factual. There's
and that's the thing. Like, I used to like that about her, and then she, like Kanye, she would just lose me, and she would start going on a tangent about some other shit. I'm like, okay, I'm checking out. Because what are you talking about?
Yeah, I've run into that. I've watched a few of her things, listened to some of her podcasts, and she's very statistic heavy. Which is, if it's not information, if it's not written type of deal is what I'm getting, then and it's bigger picture. It's bigger picture ideas instead of dealing with the pinpoint focus of what a specific community or person is dealing with. And bigger picture ideas work as long as you're not forgetting the intricate values that make up that bigger picture. Because technically we can say this, and this is an absolute fact, that racism and prejudice exist all over the world and for everybody and with everyone. That is actually factual. You're going to find people who don't like other cultures. You're just not going to vibe with that fucking culture no matter what. And this is for every individual. There's just something that, and it's exhibited even with the cross war that she's dealing with when it comes to black and white, which are the only two that seem to be the majority dealing with, which doesn't make it as bigger picture as it should, which is why I feel like maybe she gets all the hate on top of it, because, and then not expressing specific ideas in terminology, words get mixed up, which, you know, she has Jupiter and fucking Gemini. There's a lot of words that mean a lot of things that get used a lot of the times. When black people talk about racism, statistically, they're speaking systemic racism. They're speaking about racism within governments, right? And when you speak to people like Candace and everyone else, they speak about racism in its totality, what it means for everyone as a collective, which is, in the sense, using those two different terminologies are totally different. Because yes, systemic racism may exist, but racism also exists for everyone. Everyone is prejudice. It's what it is. And black people try to separate, or our community separates, that there's prejudice, and there's systemic racism. And Candace just goes, no, there's racism. That's all it is. It's all over racism. Race in astrology is Sagittarius. Other cultures is Sagittarius. Ninth house is cultures and different races and communities. That's what that house is. And unless we have her birth time, which I wish we could actually get, we could see what's flourishing in her ninth house that makes her speak against cultures, or makes that the focal point of her speaking. It already does. Jupiter in Gemini says, I talk about cultures, I talk about race, is Gemini and Jupiter. And by degree, I'm trying to see if it squares anything.
Her Jupiter?
Yeah, her Jupiter.
I'm not seeing. Wait, no.
Not by like hard degree, unless you want to count the nodes.
Okay.
Her Jupiter will square her north node in Pisces and her south node in Virgo. And that's her south node about her being extremely analytical and about the facts and statistics, completely removing the sympathy, the north node in Pisces, that she should be having for these situations.
For the ability to see the bigger picture. Right. It's very...
Her bigger picture is only the facts, and she considers that her bigger picture.
Right.
That's what it is. It's the South Node. I said it's the South Node in Virgo. She comes from those. Here's the facts. I don't give a fuck if that hurts your feelings. I don't give a fuck if you like Cardi B. Her lyrics are destructive. I don't give a fuck if that's that South Node in Virgo. I'm gonna put the facts in your face. Deal with it. That's what I knew I could sense it somewhere. I knew I could sense that.
And like we said, it's funny that we're dealing with this Virgo Mercury energy, like with Stormy and now with Candace, and how that's coming out, or relaying itself as being the what was I gonna say? Stormy has a lack of empathy or sympathy. Candace has a lack of empathy or sympathy is God damn it, I don't want to mix them up, and I always mix them up. Pisces and Cancers have to do with sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is Pisces. Empathy is Cancer. Right? God damn.
Mars and Cancer, right? But
I'll have to, as a matter of fact, raw!
We'll just find out, yes.
So she has Mars and Cancer?
Yeah, it says 0 degrees.
Yeah. Wow. Passive aggressive.
Yeah. But there's that's part of the problem, is that they want to be so hard facts and forget about people's feelings, right? And we're still dealing with people's feelings online, because if you put Cancer at the ascendant, you have Aquarius in the 8th house. That detachment.
See, I guess because my Sun and Venus have progressed into Virgo, and I am a natal Virgo rising with Pluto in Virgo, I'm somewhat of a Virgo sympathizer. So I'm the one that's like, but wait a minute, you can't say this because last Tuesday you said this. Oh, yes, you did. I can pull up the text message. You did say that. Look, that's like, I progressed into that person. So I get it when people, they're like, but, she goes to the Black Lives Matter president's house. She's like 6-7 months pregnant or whatever, goes to the Black Lives Matter president's house and was like, you said this, and this, and we need to see where this money went. And you collected this amount. And where did this go? Because you claimed da-da-da-da-da. And so the Black Lives Matter president goes, public on her Twitter or whatever platform it was, and was like, I'm being harassed by Candace Owens. Candace Owens like, I'm 7 months pregnant. Like, how would I come to your house to harass you and attack you?
Demanding that I come outside.
Hello. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property because it's listed as the Black Lives Matter property. Sir? Hello?
The fact that she's came outside my house and demanded things, harassed me, is unacceptable.
We're not trying to harass you. We'll gladly leave. We're just wondering if we can speak to anybody.
Y'all, I really need my family to be safe. I need my child to be safe. What happened this morning is not safety.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
She literally is saying, where's the money? And now a lot of people are asking that. You guys got millions and millions of dollars. What the fuck happened? Yeah. Where is it? So Candace Owens, that's South Node in Virgo. You said here on this day you were going to allocate the money like this. You received this amount of money last month for What we need to see what happened. That's South Node in Virgo. Right?
Yeah. Getting straight to the analytics.
Yeah,
I wonder
we
what
need to see the printout.
I wonder what placements are in her 6th in her actual chart, since we don't have a birth time.
We don't have a birth time, exactly. No.
Oh, Marie, we can't hear you.
I was making sure that I was right.
Just like you got people that say Venus is love.
Yeah.
You got people that say the moon is sympathy.
Right, but it's empathy. Yeah, that's what. Okay, I was
okay.
Right. Yeah, the moon
is
empathy,
okay.
And Pisces is sympathy.
Okay.
Sympathy is wow. I can extend this compassion toward you. I'm sorry.
With no sympathy.
Yeah, okay, I get the difference.
Okay?
Yeah.
He understands that you're ill, that you need help. He's willing to do that. But he's not going to cry because you got a scar on your fucking chest.
That makes sense.
Sympathy.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I
He's
get
not
it.
going to feel your pain, your embarrassment. He's not even concerned with that. As sympathy, I feel your pain. I am hurt too, that you are hurt. Empathy is, I'm not hurt at all, but I see you hurting and I understand you need some help. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It's empathy. As Rod, empathy is empathy more. Your arm hurts, and literally I can feel my arm hurting as well because I identify with that. Like, you know, some people actually they have different types of empathy. Like empathy is almost like it's like a kind of like how clairaudient. Like there are people, if you literally have a back pain, if they have certain ability where they literally can feel their back hurting when they're in your presence. There's a certain like levels of empathy even. From what I understand, like sympathy is, okay, I understand what you're going through. Empathy is, I can feel what you're going through because I've been through it. Or I have a telepathic ability to pick that up myself. That's what I was under the impression.
Okay, yeah, that's what I needed to get when it came to sympathy and empathy. Empathizing, let's see. Okay. Sympathy is a feeling, because now I'm looking up definitions so that we can understand the shit. Because some of the things that we're dealing with in this chart, especially with Pisces, with Neptune
was
being
just feeling sorry for somebody or yourself.
an affinity, association, relationship between person or things wherein whatever affects one similarly affects the other. So that's sympathy. Like if it affects you, it affects me too. I'm
like sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah. Right. And empathy is the act of understanding or being aware. So you're not actually actively feeling how they're feeling. You just understand or you're aware of how they're feeling. Like, so if you're crying and I'm crying, I'm sympathetic. If you're crying, I'm going, I understand why you're sad. I'm being empathetic.
Okay.
But I'm not crying.
if I'm empathic, which is different from being empathetic, I actually feel the pain that's making you cry. I can literally, if I'm empathic is different from empathy. It's like, it's a whole different level. Like, oh my God, my arm's hurting. Is your arm? Oh, your arm's, that's why
like
my arm's hurting. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother. And I think empathic is a combination of all the water signs to some degree. Like when you have that, you know what I mean? Like empathic, telepathic, but like it just means that you can pick up and feel it literally. Like,
yeah, I can definitely feel that shit as a Mars in Cancer, and then my moon in Virgo. Like I literally feel that shit in my body.
Yeah.
So Candace needs, in her North Node being in Pisces, is to be empathetic.
Yeah. Yeah, she's learning that.
Yeah,
she's learning
empathetic. That yes, not to exclude people's personal experiences with the stories that they're sharing. And to also make clear too, because even in all the facts you're not making clear, there's a distinct difference between the Black Lives Matter organization and who's running it, and Black Lives Matter as the movement, as the community felt, as to say us too, our lives matter too in this equation. And not having to do with the organization, and what's the word I'm looking for? They conflate the two.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
You see it happen all the time. If you try to correct somebody, they act like they don't speak English.
Yeah. Most definitely.
They'll be hard with that Aquarius moon of hers, I think.
And that's the thing about the organization literally taking the term, you know, like they have ownership of the term itself.
Right. Should have never did that. That was some selfish shit. It was some selfish shit. It wasn't supposed to be a business.
For them to take the term Black Lives Matter and make it the name of their organization, because now those two things can get conflated. When they do some fuck shit, then it's fuck Black Lives Matter.
It legitimizes the movement.
Yes.
Right, yeah. And I think that was by design, because you don't see any other movement that goes and just takes where's the Pride Life organization? Is there one? Is there a website that I can go to specifically for their organization?
I don't think so. And then look who funded. I mean, not even that. We going.
They have their different foundations for specific things, but they didn't take their slogan or something that means something to them personally as a personal life experience and turn that into one giant organization. Not that I'm aware of. Someone can in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. But to take the Black Lives Matter and turn it into an organization, that was detrimental by design and completely uncalled for. That was not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like I have a dream.
Yeah. Girl.
Well, when you buy your baby daddy a mansion with the money, you know, you buy like 3 mansions for yourself and then you buy your baby daddy a mansion, people start questioning, like, well, what did you do with this money, you know, that people donated on behalf of Michael Brown or, you know, all of these different, you know, victims at the hands of police brutality. People, Candace Owens was not the only person who was questioning, you know, what happened, you know, with all of this donation money, but she definitely went to the house of the founder. And I saw a lot of people that were like, I don't like Candace Owens, but I can't disagree with her at this point. We want to know what happened to the money. So, you know, somebody with the South Node in Virgo is going to get to the bottom of the details.
I can appreciate that about her and that's why I'll still listen to what she has to say. But sometimes I'm just like, that feeling that I got initially that you're a little opportunistic, ma'am, and you do a good job at what you do. So this side accepted you more. So here's where you situated yourself. I guess that just stands out for me.
Yeah, she has Saturn in Capricorn, and it sucks to say this as a Capricorn sun myself, but I mean that's what they do. That's that energy.
Yeah,
is to find that opportunity to climb that mountain. And she was going to climb that mountain by any means. She has Saturn in its home.
Yeah.
You know, and wherever they were going to allow her to climb the mountain, that's the mountain she was choosing to climb.
And if I'm not mistaken, around the time she would have been having a Saturn return was around the time that she got some of the opportunities that she got. Especially like with Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of where her Saturn was till we looked at her chart, but ooh.
Yeah, she
astrology is real, y'all.
Yeah, I would say that while Saturn was transiting Capricorn, that's when I first really started to know who she was.
Yes.
And that's reputation and fame and popularity and all that stuff. So her Saturn return did her well in that regard.
Yep.
And she also chose a side of people that are used to the backlash. Feel safer there.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Y'all are amazing. Thank you for just having your minds and your knowledge and your opinions, because it's needed.
And also, I want to say this: somebody with the Sun in Taurus and Jupiter in Gemini has Jupiter in the 2nd house, and people out here would die to have Jupiter in the 2nd house.
Yes, they would.
Oh,
so, you know, that means Jupiter in the 2nd house in Gemini means that you're going to get paid for your words.
And she got married into money, too. Her husband.
Yep, sure
definitely
did. She's gonna get paid for talking her shit.
You gonna get paid for talking. So, you know,
or I'm sorry.
That's why when people say, that's why when people come at you and like, you don't got that birth time. You don't got paid. Listen, astrology 101 is Jupiter in the 2nd house is you getting the fucking bag. Okay, like you could know that without a birth time. Like, you know.
Yeah, there's many avenues to that. And you know, we try to make it clear here, even when we're doing this, that we're reading planetary placements as far as sign, aspect, and as far as sign and aspect, but not house placement. Right. Because we don't have birth times, or we haven't rectified charts to do birth times, but it still doesn't take away the fact that if you have Venus and Taurus, lucky you, having Venus in its home means that you are really about your money and your comforts and things that matter. Or that you have a partnership, your partnerships, they must also have money or values that match your own. It does not change that no matter what house Taurus happens to be in. Right. You know, it would make it more accurate for us to know what area of life that actually affects, with our time of birth, and to be able to make predictions, we need our time of birth. But just to give an overgeneralized analysis, that, you don't need all that.
So you would agree that people that don't understand the value of information that's still present, even if you don't have birth time, really don't understand astrology as well as they think they do.
Yeah,
Right,
because
facts.
the solar chart has a high level of accuracy as well. You
Yes.
can read a chart from the position of the sun, and you will see that it mirrors or aligns with the natal chart if you somehow or another find the birth time. If you get a birth time for an individual, yeah, it'll tell you exactly where the planets are positioned in the houses. But if you don't get the birth time and you read, from the position of the sun, there's still going to be some accuracy to it. You know what I mean?
Like Marie said, the underlying motivation is there when you're using that solar chart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's many avenues to this astrology, and I would only recommend, though, that astrologers who actually study this science, and this is to, yes, I'm being how do I say it? Classist about astrology? Astrologistless.
Oh, Marie being an astrologist.
Right. But no, I think that it's like with any other profession, you have to know the rules to know where you can bend them, use them, leave some things out, and bring some things in, because you have a full understanding of its entire workings. You could build a chart by hand. If you don't have that kind of knowledge or research or study into it, then no, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you go off on a tangent to be an expert talking about planetary aspects and using solar charts, because you don't realize in your own mind that you're missing still 60, 30, 40% of the rest of the story, and you're not conveying that to your audience that, hey, I'm still missing half the story here. This is what I have to work with. So no, I recommend that beginning astrologers do the hard work first, and then you can go ahead and decide where you want to cherry pick shit, as long as you are consciously aware of that is what you are doing, and you are conveying that to your audience, so that you're not coming off as being an entire expert about the piece of the pie. It's not fair. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, definitely. I think there are levels. Like you said, there's levels. There's astrology 101, you know what I mean? The introductory level. And it gets progressively more intricate and detailed as you go on. But everybody born in 1981, in April of 1981, the beginning weeks of April, has a Sun-Pluto opposition. Whether you were born April 3rd, April 10th, you have a Sun-Pluto opposition. And there's a certain energy signature that comes with having the Sun opposite Pluto. And you're going to see that now, whether you have it in the sun, like I said, the sun in the second dwad of Aries, or you know what I mean? Like those types of things, those types of levels of information come later as you learn the degrees or what have you. But there is a general understanding, I think, like I said, if you have a Sun-Pluto opposition, that energy signature is going to show up, of course, the specifics are there, whether you have the sun at 3 degrees as opposed to somebody who has the sun at 13 degrees, opposite Pluto 20, as you get closer and, there's a closer orb or whatever. But I think, there's some general things that I'm sure we all have observed from reading charts, like before you got the birth time, you know what I mean? Like we said, Jupiter in the second house. We didn't have to know Candace's birth time to know
fucking placement.
Right. People want that. People want Jupiter in the ninth or whatever, depending on what it is. Because Jupiter in the ninth house, if you have Jupiter in Pisces, could be a big fucking liar. You know what I mean? So it changes, the dynamics change according to the sign and whatever. But I think there's general, there's like astrology 101, that you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that you can, right. I agree with that. You can look at something and make a general analysis about it, because the planets and signs aren't changing their meaning. It only changes based off of aspects and where it's placed in the house, but the general idea is there. You know what I mean? Jupiter in the second house is going to be pretty much generally the same thing as a Venus in Sagittarius. You're going to read them virtually the same way, so they don't lose their meaning no matter what. You have Venus in the 10th house, and you're probably known for beauty and all of that. I don't need to know even the sign. I just know that
Right.
Venus in
That's
the 10th
right.
house
That's right.
means that, you know? So yeah, you could definitely get information. But like I said, I think that it's important for beginning astrologers to make sure that they're doing the necessary steps so that they can have the privilege to understanding why that is.
Exactly. Because you got to kind of be more comfortable, you know, with, I guess, the upper levels of knowledge to just even speak confidently about the basics, you know? Like you would, like somebody who has Jupiter and Gemini, even if you didn't know the house or whatever, didn't know where the sun was or whatever, like, you know, they have a big fucking mouth. Like they talk a lot. Like you would know that. Jupiter, like you're like, oh, she has Jupiter and Gemini. She talks a lot. Like you can see that on her videos. Like then you put it together. Yep, that's Jupiter and Gemini. You know what I mean? Now, whether it's Jupiter in the third decan of Gemini or what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't even know because you guys are looking at the chart. I wasn't looking at. But this is the type of stuff that I think, I mean, the solar chart is dead on. Like, it, you know, every 30 days, that sun is going to hit a cusp in your freaking chart. And it's going to be spot the fuck on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even without the birth time. So
thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Astro G Ladies Roundtable, where we discuss astrology and spirituality in a practical way. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we post a new video. Peace.